Hello and welcome. My name's Melissa Porter.
And my name's Nick Freeman.
Welcome to The Life Coach.
I'm the lawyer.
Join us as together we tackle your toughest problems using our unique combination of wisdom and experience. Okay, so we have an email in from Sinead from London. Is there a way to shut down negativity without offending the other person? I work with a peer who has a problem for every one of my solutions, and I'm at the point of resigning. Negativity in the workplace, how do you deal with it?
Oh, it's very frustrating.
Why do you find it frustrating?
Well, because you want solutions. You don't want someone, most businesses are creative. There's a creative aspect. You want to be positive. You want to succeed. You don't want to be drowned with someone's negativity. It's hard work.
How do you define negativity?
Well, so as a lawyer, I'll get a case, I'll look at it, and I'm going to see a way very quickly how I'm going to win this case. And what I don't want is to hand it to one of my lawyers and go, oh, well, you got that problem, or you got that. Yeah, I know the problems. We're going to deal with them.
Aren't they just more risk adverse?
Well, that's part of a negative DNA. I'm very cautious. I don't give advice that I don't think is realistic, and I always, manage expectations. But I'm not negative because I just see. I try and see a way around something. I'm always trying to find a solution. Where can we go with this that's going to make you happy and tick the boxes? So I don't think it's healthy in the office. I don't think it's healthy in the work environment. And I don't know what the balance is between Sinead and her peer. Who's the boss? Mm-hmm. If she's a creative person and all her ideas are being poo-pooed, she's probably not in the right place. She, in my view, is if she's happy where she's working, but for this peer, should have a serious chat and see if she can work it out. It seems wrong that she needs to resign, doesn't it? Why doesn't she speak to the person, say, look, I'm coming up with all these ideas and I feel you're just knocking me on the head all the time. What's going on for you? I can't work like this.
There's a really good technique called non-violent communication. Have you heard of it?
I have.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I've told you about it.
Well, you practice on me regularly. Go on.
And it's a really simple technique. Look, as well as upholding boundaries, which basically, to uphold a boundary, you need to be clear on what's right and wrong. And, for some people, they're not really sure about what's right and wrong. It's subjective. But if you know that actually you are in the right in a situation and the person, this peer around you is being very negative, it is possible to use NVC, non-violent communication. And it's a 3-step process. When I see you doing X, and you have to be factual, there can be no subjectivity in it. The second part, it makes me feel Y. And the third part is
how it makes you feel.
And instead, what I'd like to see from you is Z.
So you're trying to change the way somebody else is. What you've just said
Not
is...
really.
Well,
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
how
their reaction
feel,
makes you feel and what I'd like you to do in future.
I'm telling you what I'm seeing,
Yep.
which is factual. Mm-hmm. So there should be no ambiguity because it needs to be very factual.
But
that is a bell.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't be saying that is a plastic knob, because you would say, actually, that's not a plastic knob. That is a metal knob-like.
Donald Trump would probably convince everyone that it's a plastic knob.
Well, you can't have any subjectivity in this process. It needs to be factual.
Okay, so we're talking, but I suspect they're...
So we're identifying factual evidence. You know about evidence.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah?
But often...
It's right or wrong.
Well, it's far more nuanced than that. It's far more nuanced than that, but that's a real complex argument. Yes, sorry. Do you want to go to SpecSafe? Look, we don't know whether we're talking about facts or opinions here. I suspect that the email actually is she's coming up with a suggestion and the other party, the peer, is expressing a negative opinion. And that is drowning her creativity, drowning her personality, or Sinead, I assume, is a woman, drowning her personality. She doesn't want to be confronted with that negative nonsense all the time.
And there's a school of thought that says whatever you, the energy that you're experiencing around you, it has a direct impact on your psychology, your thoughts,
it's making you probably feel negative and
feel about the situation, and that ultimately will affect your physiology.
Yeah, absolutely, undoubtedly, as it is. And she's written and saying, her physio, I'm thinking of resigning. So I would say, Sinead, before you resign, is there something you can do to prevent this negativity? Can you get someone else to work with? Can you talk it through with this peer and see if we can get rid of this negativity? Or if you're in a position to get rid of this particular person, or go and speak to your boss and say, look, this is affecting me, I want to work with someone else. Don't just walk out, because you're assuming it's your problem and it might not be your problem.
My advice would be boundaries, concrete boundaries, but you have to be clear on what's right and wrong.
But is she in a position to impose concrete boundaries? That's the problem.
Boundaries, non-violent communication. When I see you doing something, it makes me feel... and instead I would like something.
I don't think we've got enough information to advise Sinead properly. No, I think, because we don't know what the position is, the dynamic in the workplace is. I don't think it's fact, I think it's opinion, and I think someone's raining on her parade, and she shouldn't just walk out. That's a last resort, isn't it? And she may have an action for constructive dismissal if she walks out. If the workplace has become intolerable, because of the negativity of this particular person, who it may be a boss. We don't know what sort of negativity he's imposing on her. He might be just making her feel bad about herself. It may be a form of sort of suppression. We don't know enough about it, but she may have a legal action for leaving and suing for constructive dismissal.
For me, a boundary crossed is when you are criticising something that I have chosen to do. That's how I am clear whether something is right and wrong. And in our household, for example...
But we're talking about workplace.
Yeah.
We're talking about the workplace here. We're not talking about domestic situations.
But if somebody came to me in my work and said, for example, we've created this podcast. If somebody said it is an absolute load of codswallop, for me, that is a boundary crossed. What is not a boundary crossed is if I've asked them for their feedback and then we're discussing some positive actions.
But if you
as opposed to unsolicited opinions.
Okay, but if you sent it to someone, my view is there's an inferred suggestion that they're entitled to comment about it. And what I'd be interested in is, if they think it's a load of codswallop, okay, tell me why. How can we improve it? I welcome all sorts of input, because we can learn from that, we can advance it.
I hope that helps, Sinead. If you'd like to be part of our show and remain anonymous, please do email us any name and your problem to admin@melissaportercoach.com.